Hello, welcome to our regulatory update meeting for June 2025. Let's make sure that everyone is connected. And if you can see me, okay, everything's fine. So, in our meeting today, we will cover the latest regulatory update regarding medical devices and IVD in 8 countries: Kazakhstan, Thailand, Serbia, China, Egypt, Singapore, and Malaysia, and the Philippines. In our first country today, Kazakhstan, the update is related to the inspection of medical devices. So today we will walk through the recent amendment made to the official inspection rules for medical devices in Kazakhstan. These changes were enacted by the Minister of Health under the order number 315 of 2020. This was originally issued in December 2020, but was updated now. These amendments touch on four major areas. First, the classification and the purpose of this inspection have been revised. This will affect when and why the inspection are carried out. And secondly, there is a stronger legal emphasis on the independence and impartiality of the inspector and the inspection team in order to prevent conflicts of interest. So, and the third area is that inspectors are now granted specific rights to collect evidence. And lastly, the financial burden of inspection, including support services like translation. We will see in details what does entail for each one of these areas. So first, for the inspection, now fall under three clearly defined categories. There is a primary inspection that are performed during the registration process or site audit for newly registered medical devices. Then there is a periodic inspection that are conducted every 3 years and focus on verifying the manufacturer quality management system in order to ensure that the effectiveness still remaining over time. And the third and last category of inspection is the unscheduled inspection. This can occur when in several situations, like for example, if a violation is reported and needs to be confirmed as a result, or if safety or efficacy concern arise, or if there is a risk to public health, etc. So there is a clear definition of the type of inspection. Now, the second area is that the revised rules stress that the inspector must be free from any conflicts of interest. So the inspector and the inspection team cannot be a developer, manufacturer, or related party to the devices they are inspecting. And this includes also affiliated organization like supplier or service provider, like a maintenance or repair team. The major update is the expanded authority given to those inspector or inspection team to collect evidence during the inspection. So now they are officially allowed to take photograph, video of the production environment, make audio recording, and copy documents that are relevant to identifying non-conformity. And finally, the amendment clarifies who bears the financial responsibility for those inspections. So the applicant, usually the manufacturer or the importer, is now officially responsible for all costs associated with conducting the inspection. These include not just the inspection service itself, but also any additional support needed, such as interpreter, for example. And there is like an official invoice that should be issued, an official contract that should be signed between all the parties. So this is the last major area of this amendment in Kazakhstan. Now, moving to our second country today will be Thailand. And we have three interesting updates. The first one is related to changes in addition or removal of medical devices, changes in medical devices registration. The second one is the full CSDT upgrade, and the last one is the e-certificate system. So the first update this is an official guidance document that was published by the authority last February of this year. And this document provides instruction of how to modify existing product registration for non-IVD medical devices. So there are 4 types of changes considered under addition of devices. The first case, adding a new size of a registered single product. The second one, same design, but changes like repackaging, pack size, or allowed family variants. The third case is adding new ergonomic models or software version. And the last one is adding accessory already mentioned in previous documentation. So all this detail can find them in this guideline. But what I want to mention is that each case of addition has its own documentation requirement. Some of them are mandatory or common of all classes, like the list that you can see here. And others are case specific. So when a required document, so these are specific, so each case, so should be depend of whether the proposed change affect technical or safety elements or whatever. And if a required document of those lists is unchanged from the original license, the applicant still has to provide a declaration letter that must explain that there is no significant change. Now, to remove a product from registration, these are the required justification. An explanation letter from the importer is mandatory, and if the removal is due to an adverse event or 5 safety corrective actions, of course, a declaration letter from the manufacturer and supporting safety report must be submitted. Now, here we have a similar guideline that was also issued by the authority in the same date, but for IVD, and it's more or less the same about adding and removing. So these are the accepted cases for the adding of IVD, adding new reagent or instrument under the same IVD cluster, devices with the same design but small changes. All these details can be consulted in this guideline. And also the same, what I want to share with you is that also for the IVD, the same for removing, the justification is required. Import explanation letter, the same logic as for medical devices. And also we have a list which is identical at the one required by medical devices. Just want to make clear that there are 2 guidelines, one specific for medical device and IVD. Should be slight differences, but it's the same requirement in general. So there is a list for mandatory for all cases, as you can see here, and another list of required documents for case dependent. And the same, if a required document is not changed, a declaration should be submitted explaining that. So this was about the changes adding or removing for medical devices and IVD requirement and the cases specified case by case. Now, in the second update related to the full CSDT upgrade, we will discuss about the recently published document, which is addition system, and it was introduced by the FDA. And the system officially took effect starting from June 1st of this year, and it aimed to help medical device manufacturer and importer to upgrade existing device registration that were submitted previously under the old system, the partial or average format, into a full CSDT submission. So, as I said, the primary goal of this system is to support medical device operator who previously completed this registration under this simplified format. So this may not meet the full documentation requirement now expected. This new system will enable all these holder of this license that were obtained via the old system to smoother transition to a full CSDT by submitting only the missing information rather than starting a new application from the scratch. So the document addition system, as its name clearly mentioned it is integrated into the existing SkyNet platform that is managed by the authority, and it is tailored to devices that are already approved, as I said, but need document upgrade to meet the full CSDT standard. Thus, it is very important to note that this system will be operational starting from, it has been operational starting from this month. However, you can only use it during specific period of the year, from May to September. This window was created to avoid like a busy license renewal season from October to April. That's allowed the authority to focus on processing the updates. And so to access the system is very simple. Just need to log in into the SkyNet platform that's usually used and choose the option to upgrade the existing submission to full CSDT. And from there, the system will guide you step by step, highlighting the documents that are missing and helping you to upload them in the correct format. We will see today that many of the updates in the regulatory area related to medical devices and IVD are most of them digital updates. Most of the authority are switching to digital, easy access and less time-consuming systems. So the third update in Thailand today is related to the e-certificate system that was launched by the Medical Device Authority. This new initiative officially took effect on May 1st of this year, and will represent a major advancement in the modernization of this public health. It's a fully digital platform. It will allow businesses to request and receive health product certification online without the need of the physical document. It ensures fast, convenient access while maintaining document security, authenticity, everything, with the electronic signature and the real-time certificate verification. So the entrepreneur will continue using the same e-system e-submission system they're already familiar with. However, now they receive certificates electronically, signed digitally, and secured through an integrated verification system. So this will change the ad speed and efficiency while preserving all regulatory standard, of course. And that was all for Thailand. Switching to Serbia, the update is related to, as I said, digital communication. So here, in this presentation for Serbia, we'll review a notice published by the authority, the Agency for Medicine and Medical Devices of Serbia, on last April of this year. This introduces a new digital communication process for applicants in the field of medical devices. So, traditionally, the applicants communicated with the authority evaluator by phone or email. That was the traditional way of communication with the evaluator in Serbia. But with this process is being now replaced by this digital communication. All the discussion and document exchange related to case assessment must now occur through the official e-portal. So this is enhance the traceability and eliminate all this fragmented communication through emails. Now, if users encounter difficulty or have any question about using the e-portal, the authority has provided a comprehensive guidance and also a technical support. And there are instructions available online, and there is a technical assistance, so can be requested directly through your usual user account. And yeah, it had to navigate and go through the system. Now in China, we have three major updates. The quality management standard, a new standard added exclusively for the online sales, as the authority considered that it was time to start with that, since the online sales of medical devices were growing. The second one is the IVD related to second generation gene sequencing. And the third one is medical devices exempted from clinical evaluation and update of the catalog. So in the first update, we summarize and explain the new quality management standard for online sales of medical device. This was based on these 5 official documents that were issued between April and May. I'll give you a summary of the important information included in all these documents related to this new standard. So basically, platform like GD Health or Alibaba now must verify the identity and credential of their sellers. Ensure all listed products meet the registration or fill-in requirement, and display this transparently. And they are also responsible for handling consumer complaints. They should comply with this, and participating in adverse event reporting and recalls. So the enforcement will be centralized through the NMPA online monitoring platform, with provincial and local regulator conducting inspections and guidance. So initial training will start next August 2025 to ensure a readiness by October 2025. So in summary, the new standard for online sales in China of medical devices will be enforceable from October 1st of this year. And all online medical device operator and platform must align their system with these rules. So this is a major milestone in digital health, governance, and consumer safety in China. Now we move to the next published guideline in China, and it is related to the principle for classification and definition of IVD related to second generation gene sequencing. This was issued by the NMPA this year. So here, one of the core principles is that regulatory oversight depends on the reagent intended use. If the reagent support diagnostic purposes or decision, it falls under medical device regulation, but if it is used only for research or non-clinical purpose, it is exempt from such classification. And the reagents are divided into three main categories. The extraction reagents, which isolate DNA, RNA, are generally low risk and classified as class 1. The library construction reagents that contain specific primer and probes and are critical for clinical interpretation. So this is classified as class 3. And finally, the universal sequencing reagent, that generates signal outputs are also considered class 1 due to their supportive nature. So company with previously approved class 1 registrations must reassess their product under the new framework. If a product no longer meets the class 1 requirement, it must be re-registered under the applicable class. Importantly, such reagents cannot be sold or produced after January 1st, 2027, unless they were updated the registration before this date. So in conclusion, the guiding principles are effective immediately. All manufacturers and applicants must now follow the new classification logic and be prepared and adapt their registration certificate. Now moving to the third and last update for China. This is related to the updated catalog for exemption for medical devices exempted from clinical evaluation. As you know, if you are on top of the regulation of medical devices in China, all these catalogs are from time to time updated. So the last one was on 2023, and now here we have new updated version of this clinical evaluation exemption from medical devices in China. So this now, it includes domestic and imported devices with proven safety profiles and mature technology. These devices no longer require clinical evaluation during registration, so this makes their path to market faster. But to qualify for exemption, a device must meet strict conditions. Its design and performance must be consistent. It should be manufactured using mature techniques, as I said, and it must have a long-standing record of safe use in clinical practice. So, of course, for manufacturer, this catalog, this new version or this update for 2025 presents a strategic opportunity. Exemption reduce time to market and development costs, helping company remain competitive, of course. It also allows regulatory resources to focus on high-risk products, improving overall system efficiency. So for full access to the list of the exempt devices and officially regulatory context, applicants and stakeholders should refer to the publication on the NMPA website under the notice number 19/2025. and the policy is enforced from May 2025 and will guide the registration strategy in the year ahead. Now, switching to Egypt. The update will be related to new service for variation. Again, a digital update. So, in this presentation for Egypt, it's summarized in the new initiative introduced by the EDA, the Egyptian Drug Authority, last April 2025. The announcement targets a representative of medical device company and introduced a digital service for managing variation to registered devices. So the variation service is exclusively available through the official electronic portal, and company must use their registered account to access and submit requests. Instructions for the submission are clearly outlined and accessible online as well. So it is a fair, friendly process, we can say. Now, if applicants face any technical challenge using this portal, they are advised to submit support tickets through their user account, and the authority has also provided a dedicated support link for troubleshooting and feedback. In Singapore, it is also about the access and regulatory e-system. You can see a big switch to the digital of several processes in different countries. So here we have in Singapore, will provide a comprehensive overview of the share system. This is based, this overview will be based on these three documents, which correspond to session conducted and published by the HSA in May 2025. So the share platform is designed to replace the MEDIC system with a full transition scheduled for next month, July 2025. So Share is a centralized digital platform developed by the authority, HSA, to facilitate regulatory collaboration across the entire lifecycle of health products. It integrates services for faster access, of course, improved compliance, and transparent tracking of regulatory procedure. And compared to MEDICS, system, Share introduced several upgrades. Notification and certificates are now independent and streamlined. User can manage third-party access directly. Approval conditions are trackable in real time, and importers are assigned more efficiently. And new cancellation, even cancellation can be now scheduled in advance. So this new application process is more flexible and very, as we said, user-friendly. Payment steps also are divided by workflow stages, so allowing the company to better cost control, and all users can select their preferred payment method. So, yeah. The dashboard centralizes spending tasks and provide real-time visibility into the company obligation. It simplified tracking input, request, payment due, and the required submission. So it's very saving time and effort. And it organizes the application stages clearly, enable users to distinguish between a draft, an ongoing, or finalized submission. It also provides access to product approval, and licenses directly from the interface. And now, for the transition timeline from MEDIC to share, it follows strict schedule. So by June 27, by the end of this week, all new application must shift to share. Responses in medics must be completed by July 4, and after this, medics will be shut down and all operation will transfer to share starting July 14 of this year. So company must act now to avoid disruption, and any urgent submission must be completed by June 27, responses by July 4, and user access should be configured in COPAS before July 14. These steps are very important for a smoother transition to this new share system. And in Malaysia, the update is regarding the online product classification. So here we summarize official announcements from the Malaysian authority regarding significant change in the regulatory procedure starting May, that started May of this year. So all product classification application must be submitted online using Google Forms. The document analyzed here was updated on March 2020 of this year and issued by the authority. Now, from May 1st onward, applicant must use this Google form as a state for all products classification submission. The move to a fully digital platform ensures like in a kind of uniformity and no more need for physical documentation, and no other means of submission will be accepted. There is the only way of submission of these products classification. So all the decision about the classification will be communicated by email only. This replacing previous practice by sending physical document by post. And if therefore crucial that applicant provide the valid and active email, it's very important that during the application, the applicant provide the correct email, because this will be the way of communication. And so to ensure a smooth transition, the applicants are advised to prepare in advance and understand the new online workflow. For any issue or question, there is also here support available through this email, and there is also a direct phone number, and there are guidance, details, instruction available in the website. And in our last country today, the Philippines, the updates will be related to the submission of multiple post-approval changes. So this presentation in the Philippines is based entirely on this official document issued by the authority in April 2025. This includes an FDA advisory number 1496 of this year, and it announced a policy change allowing the submission of multiple post-approval changes, or known as PACs, post-approval changes, for a single product within one application. So the core update announced in the advisories is that market authorization holders can now group multiple post-approval changes for the same product into one application. This apply only to two categories: major variation and minor variation requiring prior approval. But existing procedure for minor variation under the notification route remain as it is until further notice. So now, in practice, even if the policy allow multiple packs per application, the technical limitation of the platform um, remain like showing only three option, three updates to add. Uh, but to work around this, the applicant must indicate after these three packs, there is an option of please see attached list of post-approval changes. And in that file, you can provide the full list of packs that you need to add by using the official template found in the Annex A of this advisory. So it may seems like limited to three, but there is this way of adding all the other packs, like kind of technical limitation for now. And it's important to note that even if the submission may be grouped, the fees still apply on as per pack basis. So it will not be a single fee for the application, including a lot of changes, but it will every change will have its own fee. This is to ensure that each change is properly evaluated, and applicants are directed to use Annex A for the listing packs and consult the Annex B of this guideline for the full guidance and on application procedure and documentation. And yeah, that was all for today. As we see, the most of the changes or the most of the update today, and this is what was available for this period of time. Most of them, it was a coincidence that most of them was related to digital switch in by the authority and through different country. Yeah. Any question? Please, you are welcome.
Hello, Iman. Thank you for the presentation. I do have a question about Kazakhstan. You mentioned that there was a new regulation on 2020 that was recently updated. Is that correct, or was recently enforced? It
Updated.
was updated through a new regulation that amended the previous one. Do you
Mhm.
Do you know if this amendment cover all the risk classes for the audit? I mean, the audit is now mandatory for every product.
The inspection or the audit is mandatory in Kazakhstan for class 2A sterile, class 2B,
Mhm.
and class 3 medical devices. And yeah, it's covered these classes that are usually mandatory to be inspected. And as you know, in Kazakhstan, the inspection is mandatory for the local manufacturer, but for the foreign manufacturer, it might or might not be required. And if it is
Ye-
required, it would be for these classes, high classes.
For these classes, okay. And there was a requirement, I don't know if it's still the same, that the Kazakhstan requested the audit the first time the manufacturer registered the product in the country, and then
Yeah.
it was not necessary. That is still the same. It remains, or there is any change about?
Yes, it is required for production like of the manufacturer that has never been registered in the database.
Okay, so for a manufacturer that already has um, a product registered and is a low class, they do not need an audit. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, that would be all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, still have one time for one question. Yes, Gabi?
Hi, man. Thank you for the presentation. Well, I had a question about
Hello.
Kazakhstan, but it was already covered. And then I wanted to know when is the STD transition fully enforced in Thailand? Sorry.
In Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is already in force.
Ah,
This is already in force since February of 2024. But what happened is that now this is the system that I discussed today is for cases is somehow to upgrade the existing license that were issued and still like before, maybe before 2024. As you know, the license duration is 5 years, so maybe still have this license and that was obtained under the old system. So now if you have to do a renewal or any changes or maybe license transfer, so you have to do it with this license that were obtained via the old system. You have to do a full CSDT upgrade at the same time. And
I understand.
this system of this way they discussed in this we discussed today is a very easy way to do it. Like
Mm,
not providing all the documentation, only providing the missing document. It depends of the route that you register under. You will have the required list of missing documents popping up for your license, and yeah,
you have
it's
to do
like
it. Yeah.
easy to easy to update.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all. Thank you for your time, and hope you learned a lot, and hope to see you again in our next regulatory update meeting next month, July, with more interesting information. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Iman.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.